Okay, so yes, guys, welcome you all to this another week and another session on UiPath. If I just want to summarize it up, so what and all the things we have seen in our previous classes, we have started with we have started with the variables, arguments, and the control flow, and post that we have seen something as a string manipulations, list, dictionaries, and all. So we have till now we have seen all about the dictionaries and also the Excel automation we have looked in already. So this is the point where we stand, and also we believe like yes, we have some strong foundation on the topics now. Now it's a time for us to understand more in detail about this tool. So till now, what and all we have seen, yes, it is required throughout the sessions, but we're going to be we'll be taking a part of it and we'll be using it and we'll be configuring it. But from now on, everything going to be, and also as I promised in the previous class, from the Excel automation itself, you saw everything is just drag and drop and working. So again, here we are with another session, and also from, as I already said, everything going to be just drag and drop and configuring. Now let's understand in detail about this. Now, our first topic and what our agenda is to discuss about this, which is UI interaction and UI elements. And we're going to be working on this. So this is the agenda, what we have. I think with this today's session itself, if it is possible, we're going to finish it, or else we'll keep it for our next session as well. So it is something like very interesting topic, which is related to the bot, and we will understand and we'll configure the things as we move on. So this is our agenda. We're going to be talking about the UI interaction, UI elements, and we're going to be working on that. And we're going to be doing some PDF automation in our later this weeks and all. And to brief it up, this week we are connecting on today. Anyway, we guys have connected, and tomorrow and day after. So again, we'll be catching up on the following week. So in the following week, it would be like Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, like the way how we have scheduled it. So no changes with that. Only for this week, we have been changed. Now, that is being said, let's catch up with our topic and let's start working on this. UI interaction and UI elements. What do we mean by UI interaction and what do we mean by UI elements? See, as a human, what we do, how we interact with our machines. Machines means the laptop. How we interact by using some keyboard drivers, by using some keyboards, we'll type something. By using mouse, we will just scroll and click some things. See, that is the way how we interact with our machines, right? Similarly, the bot should automate the task. If it wants to automate the task, even it should be having some mechanism to do some action on the machines. Since it's often a software robot, I think it should have some additional capabilities as well, like to interact with the machine. Why? Because it is sitting inside this machine itself. So it should be having the capabilities. Now, this is our session to discuss in detail what and all the functionality, what and all the options does my bot have, how can it interact with the machine, and how it can do the automation for you, and much more. As I said, this RPA, like we actually aims to automate some of the tasks which are performed by the humans. See, whatever the task we're going to plan, everything is performed by the human itself. We're going to plan it to automate it, right? So as a human, we can expect some UI elements and UI interaction we going to do to be extensively we use daily to interact with our laptops or machines or anything. Now you might be wondering, what do we exactly mean by UI interaction and what do we exactly mean by UI elements? See, UI elements means which we can identify, means something like icon on your desktop, that is of an UI element. And when you're copying some file from one location to the another location, you're gonna get some progress bar, right? Okay, 50% completed, 60% completed, and all. See, that is an UI element. And on any of the browser, you're gonna land up and you're gonna see it some logo and all, right? So that is, even logo is of an UI element. See, as a human, we use our eyes to recognize the things, right? So that is UI element. And As a human, we use keyboard and the mouse to interact with the machine, right? So that is UI interaction. See, now you got the difference. UI elements means where you're giving a job for your eye. Like your eye will see that on your desktop. Okay, you have an icon and you are moving a file which is completed 50%. So based on that, you're going to give the commands, right? See, we human have been designed in a greater way. But if you want to design similarly to the human, we cannot do that. We are trying to replicate some of the actions. See, our eyes, our brains, and our hands are connected, so everything will work in a sync. But whereas for the bot, it's everything is in a different way. We have to connect the things and we have to showcase. Now, you understood about what do we mean by UI element and what do we mean by UI interaction. Now, let's take one by one and let's talk about in detail. UI interaction. This UI interaction can be split into two options, into two different parts. One we call as an input actions and another one we call as an output actions. See, UI interaction can be split up into two types. One is input actions and another one is output action. These are the two options what we have under UI interaction, which we're going to be seeing in detail about it. Now, on the other hand, like input actions means like how we give some input for the bot. Hey bot, go over there and click on it. Hey bot, go over there, type something. Hey bot, just send some sort hotkeys. As a human, how we interact, like on the screen you are seeing these three activities. These are the only three ways as a human what we also do. Either we will do we will use a mouse, we do a click. Either we will use a type into activity and we will use our keyboard to type in something. Either we will use some shortcut keys like Control C, Control V and all. See, these are the only things as a human we perform. Similar to that, we have a dedicated activities in UiPath also where the bot can also do this action. So that is input action. On the other hand, the output actions means through which we take data as an out. For example, when you are entering some data into some application, as soon as you enter some data, you want to extract some data as an output, right? You want to extract some data from that application. For example, on the screen, you are seeing input action, right? This of a text, what you're seeing. If your bot has to extract it, if you want to get this and put it into one notepad, yes, it is possible by using an output action, which we're going to be discussing about that. So that is input action and output action. Anyways, we will keep output action aside. We will derive this input actions first. So how was the hierarchy we have came across? We have seen UI elements and UI elements and UI interaction. In that first, we have picked up the UI interaction. UI interaction has been divided into two things. One is input actions and another one is output actions. Now, based on that, we will look into the input actions and later we will jump into the output action. And as I touched base, this input actions are the ones as a human we also perform every time when we try to insert some data into an application, or when we try to send some command to the system, which can produce some changes. And if you want to perform some input actions and all. So whatever we do, we also perform this only the three different actions on the screen, what you're seeing. As I said, even in UiPath, the main three input actions are click, type into, send hotkey. Now, to achieve this input action, we have something called as an input methods. Through this method, we will achieve an action. Now, if you remember the hierarchy again, UI interaction, UI elements. In that first, we took the interaction. Interaction has been divided into two things, input, output actions. To achieve this input action, we have some set of methods. We have some set of method, which we call as an input methods. By choosing that methods, we're going to be doing an automation. So that is our goal now. So what are these input methods? See, these are the three different input methods what we have. First is default. Second is send window message. And the third is simulate. These are the three input methods what we have. And also okay, post this, I'm going to be discussing about the modern design and all. So you guys gonna get thoroughly on that. But I just don't want to confuse you now. But for now, just look at about this. Default, send window message, and simulate. These are the three input methods what you have. Let's discuss one by one. What is this default? Default, we also called as an hardware events. Why hardware events? See, look at the working behavior of it. See, clicks. The mouse cursor moves over the screen. Typing, it uses a keyboard driver to type it. See, it's working as a human itself. When you choose a default as a behavior, what bot does? It uses a mouse driver to click. It uses a keyboard driver to type. That is the working behavior of the default. And what is the implications? See, attended users cannot touch a mouse or a keyboard during automation. It has a lower speed and a low time, which can impact the accuracy. See, since the bot is taking the control of your drivers, that means your keyboard and your mouse. Now, when you want to do some other action, for example, you and your friend are there in a room and your friend is using your laptop, and when he's using the laptop, even if you want to use it, can you do that? Both the people can use the same laptop at the same time? No, we cannot do that. That's the same way what is happening when the bot is doing some action by using your keyboard drivers and the mouse drivers. When it is doing some action, if you try to take a control over it, yes, obviously the robot will fail and it will give you a control. So just a minute. So sorry guys. So that is the implication. Alternate users, he cannot take a control over the mouse or keyboard during the automation. It has a lower speed and the low time, which can impact the accuracy. As I given you the example, when you two guys are wants to work on the same laptop at the same time, it cannot be done. It cannot be done at all. So that's the same way. That's the implication what we have when you choose as a default as a behavior. And what is the strong points? Strong points is that it supports special characters like enter, tab, and other hotkeys, which is 100% compatible. See, irrespective of your use case or anything, when you want to, if you want to automate something, irrespective of whether that application is in somewhere, like it is over there, it is lying on the VDI, whatever might be the situation, when you choose default as a behavior, the bot will obviously 100% it will work. Why? Because it is using the drivers. Since it is using the drivers, it will work. So that's the reason we have mentioned as 100% compatible. And what's the limitation? Limitation is that it does not automatically erase the previously written text. What do you mean by does not automatically erase the previously written text? That means, for example, when you want to log in into some application, since you have used your machine, previously to log in, that's your machine remembers your username and password. Again, when you visit that site, it will automatically give you that username and the password right over there. It will autofill it right. See, If that's the case, when you're automating the bot, if your browsers behaves in that way, and and it just prints you an output, it just gives you a value as such. When you want to try to enter some other email address rather than that, then if you want to clear it out and enter the new value, it cannot be done in the default. It does not have that behavior. But we have some property which I'm going to be showcasing, which will clear out something and which will give you an output. So, but it will not automatically do that. We have to enable some of the settings and all. If we have enabled, then only it will erase the previously written text. And obviously, it will not work in the background. Why? Because it is using the mouse driver and the keyboard driver. This is the default behavior what we have. Next, send window message. Send window message means it replies to the only to the window messages. See, right now, this default behavior, it was working in the front end. Front end means on an application. You can see that what your bot is doing. The bot is hovering the mouse or somewhere, typing in something and all. But now what is happening? The bot is working in an OS layer. See, it has operating system, right? Windows. Through Windows, it will communicate with that application to which you want to automate, and it will try to do an automation over there by sending some messages through the operating system. See, previously the bot was using the drivers to communicate with that application, but now bot is using the operating system itself to send some commands, to send some messages to the appropriate thing and to run it. See, that's the way when you choose as a send window message. See here, clicking and typing will occur instantly. Occur instantly means, if you remember, when you copy some text from notepad, and when you print it, when you paste it in the another notepad, see how much ever the long text it might be. You have 1,000 characters or 2,000 characters. As soon as you copy and paste it, you're gonna get everything in one stretch, right? Your operating system will not type character by character. Everything is just copied and pasted over here, like instantly it is happening. So that is we call as a clicking and typing will occur instantly when we choose send window message as an option. Next thing is that it works in the background. Why? Because hello.
Yes.
Actually, someone asked me any question.
No.
Okay. So I just heard as someone says as hello. So that's the reason I got interrupted. Okay, so it works in the background. The implication is it works in the background. Why? Because it is communicating with the operating system, and it is asking the operating system to do an action. So it is invoking the windows in a background. It is not using any drivers to do the click. So that's the reason implication is it works in the background. Whereas comparable to the default method, this is much faster. Why? Because it works in the background, right? It When it was a default, the bot should communicate with the drivers. If the driver respond, it will then the click will happen. It takes some time where it is very minute. You cannot see that difference. But when I compare with the send window message, this is faster when I compare to this. That is the implication what we have. And the strong points are, see, it supports special characters like enter, key, tab, see, shortcut keys, control C and all. All the things will work in send window message. And the limitation are same thing, followed by this. Does not automatically erase the previously written text, and it works only with an application which respond window messages. See, there are some application which will respond to window messages. Only those application we can automate it when we can by choosing send window message. If that application is not responding to the window messages, then we cannot automate it at all. If that application is not listening to the operating system, then we cannot automate it. If it is listening, obviously we can do it. That's what we are seeing over here. That's the limitation what we have. Now you can ask me a question like, okay, which are the applications which support window messages and which are not? It totally depends. It totally depends on the application, how they design. Now, if you want to get like which are the application and whether it's going to work or not, then first you have to try it out the behavior of it by using some window messages. You have to try it out. If it is working, then that application is working with the send window messages. If it is not working, then we don't have any option. So we have to choose it with the default behavior. That is the things about the send window message. Now let me talk about the simulate. Simulate. See, it uses a technology of a target application which works in an API level to send some instruction. The bot uses an technology to communicate with that application in an API level itself. See, in the first case, the bot was communicating with the drivers. In the second case, the bot was using an operating system to communicate with that application. But now the bot itself is directly communicating with the application in an API level, not directly in an API level in the background. It is communicating. Since it is communicating in the background, see, clicking and typing occurs instantly. And the implications are it works in the background and actions are lot faster when I compare with the other ones. But there are some compatibility limitation. See, since API is very much faster, it works just in a fraction of seconds. So it is faster. Because of that, because of this fastness, there are some compatibility limitation. The bot will be in a hurry, like it has to click that, and it has to move forward. Since it is running in that speed, there might be a chance that the bot can fail. The bot can click some things. So that might happen. So that's the reason we have some compatibility limitation. And see here, strong points are it can automatically erase the previously written text where the other two was not doing. Now it can be done. And see here, users can work on the other activities during the execution of the automated process. Obviously, the bot is working in an API level. That means our system is available. As a human, we can do some other task, whereas the bot might be doing some other task which I wanted. And the drawbacks are, see, it does not support any special keys like enter, tab, and other hotkeys and all. It has a lower compatibility than the other two because of this fastness. So this is what all about the input methods what we have. Did you guys get a glimpse of these three things? Any questions over here?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. Now let's do some hands-on. So till now, what all we have seen? Now everything will be replicating in the terms of a workflow. Let me open up a studio. In UiPath, we have before I jump in detail about this input actions and input methods, we're going to be talking about something called as a design. Let me just give it as this itself. We have in UiPath, we have two different types of design. First is modern design. Second one is classic design. What do we mean by modern design and the classic design? Modern design means those are new activities which are encrypted, with some AI functionalities with that. The modern activity has got some intelligence. The bot that activity has itself got some intelligence. While working, you can understand how intelligent it is and all. But whereas the classic, the day that UiPath have started, right? They have started to build that product. From that time, those activity was there. This is something like an old activities, which is working, which was working till date, and also in the future it will work, but it doesn't have that kind of an intelligence. So in that way, you can differentiate modern and the classic design. Now, I'm going to be showcasing you both the things, modern and the classic design. Why? Because right now we are in an edge of changing from classic to the modern. See, till now, this UiPath, they were using the classic design. Even all the customers till now, even today, I'm still building for the customer the automation on the normal studio by using a classic design activity itself. Since UiPath have spent lot of time and lot of energy in building the new set of activities, now they are forcing all of their customers to evolve themselves to the modern activities. In the future, we'll be having a modern activity itself, but now we are dealing with classic design, and they are asking everyone to switch to the modern design. Now, the next question from your end will be, do we want to learn the modern design or a classic design? If you ask me, then I would say both of the things. In the future, you will be working on modern design itself. That's of sure. That's what we can see in the roadmap. But the classic design, it is necessary. Why? Because post this completion of the course, you guys will be attending the interviews, or you'll be taking some certifications, or you'll be lining up on any of the job role and all. During that time, this is, as I said, we are in the edge of changing our design, right? So in the interviews, they will be asking you about the classic design, and they will be asking you about the modern design, and also the in certification which you want to crack. Even there, they're gonna ask you the both the things. So now we don't have any other option. We have to learn both of the things. We have to learn about the classic design, and we have to learn about the modern design. There is no much differences, but you will see. I will just give my best to give you some differences between those. So we're going to be talking in detail about this two different design, modern and classic. Let me open up a main workflow. And let me drag a sequence onto my canvas. We have seen, okay, now let me show you. See, these are the modern activities, what we have on the screen. If you want to see a classic design, whenever you open up your studio, in the activities panel, you have a filter icon, right? Just click on that. And here you have something called as a show classic. See here, by default, it will be disabled. If you want to see and look and feel about the classic activities, you can enable it. See, if I click on it, that's it. All the classic activities I can visible. See, if I type classic, these are some of the classic activities. What we have. See how many activities we have. Now, apart from that, modern means all the activities right now at present what we have apart from that classic is of a modern activities. Now we have seen three different activities, right? Click, type into, send hotkey. Let me drag all the three things onto my canvas. First, I will drag all the classic activities. Let me drag all the classic activities. Which are those? Click. See, classic, click, drag and drop. Next, type into, see, classic, type into, and send hotkey, right? Send hotkey. See, classic, send hotkey. You can see in the activities, this is modern send hotkey. This is classic send hotkey. Now these are classic activities. Now let me drag another sequence and let me open up for modern activities. So first is click, right? Click, see here, UI automation application, click activity. Look at it, how it looks. Next, type into. See, type into. Next, what is the send hotkey? Send hotkey, which we call as a keyboard shortcuts in modern design. Let me drag and drop. See, these are modern activities. Now let me minimize it. These are the two different designs what we have. Now we have dragged only the input actions activity, which are those click, type into, send hotkey. Now let's understand in detail about it. Now, over to you guys. Which one you want to learn first? Whether it's of a modern or it's of a classic?
Classic.
Classic.
Okay. So let's understand how the UiPath have started their activities. Later, now we will see after this, how the activities are built now. Click activity. See here in the properties, you can see something. Let me brief it up about these activities first. See, continue on error. This is of a checkmark Boolean value, which will help you to, if this activity is throwing some error, the bot will not stop and it will not show you an error. It will just continue further. So that is continue on error. Next, delay after, delay before. Give a delay before doing a click. Give a delay after doing a click. See, delay after, delay before. Before you do a click, after do a click. If you want some delay, hey bot, just wait for 10 seconds and then do a click. Hey bot, just first do a click and then wait for 10 seconds. That is the instruction you can give it over here. And the display name, if you want to change it, here you have an option. And what is the type of click? See, if you want to click single, double click, click down or click up, you have an option. Next, mouse button, right, left, middle, scroll keys and all, you can choose it. And we have something called as a target section. This is the place where the bot will identify an element, which we call as a selector, which will be our another topic, which we're going to be discussing in detail. But keep an eye on what is this selector is and where you can find that. See, target section. This detail about the complete target we're going to be discussing. Target section, which is completely related to the selectors. In our upcoming classes, we're going to be talking in detail. So right now it's not time for us. Next, miscellaneous. You guys know what is this private is doing. Anyways, in the first class itself, I have guided you what is this. If I have enabled it, it's gonna log the activities in the log message. If not, no, that's the thing. Next, options. These are some of the set of options which are related to click. First is, see, if you observe, simulate click, send window messages. Just now we have seen the methods, right? If I enable this, the click will happen by using a simulate method. If I enable this click will happen by using send window message. See, I cannot select both the things. It throws an error. So we have to choose any one, not both the things. But you might be wondering, we have discussed 3 things, but I have only 2 over here. Where is the other one? And which is the other one? Other one is default hardware events, right? The bot uses a drivers, I said. Where? Do I have an option? No, we don't have an option to select. If you don't select this 2, by default, that is selected. If you don't select anything, then by default, that is the behavior. So that's the reason you don't have an option for it. Next, key modifier. Key modifier means, see, sometimes you wanted to do control click, shift click, Windows click. See, in the browsers, when you want to open up in a link in a new tab, you're going to do control click, right? So if that's the case, if that's a kind of a use case you have, and you have to ask your bot, then you can use that key modifier. Next, cursor positions. Sometimes when you're dealing with an image kind of an automation, there you will not be having any types of something as a selectors and all. In that case, we have to give the position of it and we have to ask the bot to get me the value. So which we're going to be talking in detail. Don't worry about it now. And cursor motion type. See here, instant, smooth, and alter if disable, enable or disable. Now, what is this? Cursor motion type, instant and smooth. See here, my mouse cursor is here. If I want to move to the minimize, see how my bot is going in a smooth fashion from this corner to this corner. In this way, if you want your bot has to behave, then choose it as smooth. And if you give us instant, the bot will disappear the mouse cursor over here and it will appear over here. See, instant. Instantly it's happening. Whereas this smooth means it goes in a smooth fashion. Next, alter if disable. This is often check mark, again Boolean value, true or false. If you select it, what happens is, what happens is, if suppose you have enabled this send window message and also you have enabled alter if disable. As I said, right, not all the application will respond to window messages. I said you, when you configure in this way, if that application is not responding to window messages, the bot will not throw and it will not stop the workflow. What bot does is, it will automatically convert from send window message to the default and it's gonna run it. It will not stop. The bot itself will convert and it will run it. See, that is the way how this alter if disable gonna work. See, these are some of the properties what we have under the click. Similarly, we have a set of property for the type into where it shares the same set of properties. See, the first section is the same. Continue on error, delay after, delay before, and display name. And the target section, as I said, regarding the selector, which we're going to discuss. And what your bot has to type, that is a text area. And this miscellaneous, you guys know. If you see simulate type, send window message type. These are the two options where you can choose it. If anything, if none of the things are selected, then it's of a default behavior. Next, empty field. See here, I said, we have discussed it. See, this too will not automatically erase the previously written text, right? See, it will not automatically erase. But you have an option, you have a property where you can ask your bot to empty the field and run the workflow. You can ask your bot to do that. See, this is often one property. Next, deselect at the end. See, right now the bot has typed something, let's assume. And after typing it, it has to deselect. Deselect means right now it is selected. If I click out of the box, it is deselected. If I click this, it is selected. If I click out of the box, deselected. That's what it is. So deselect at the end. Next, delay between the keys. Delay between the keys means when your bot is typing a characters, it should give a delay. See, Q, have a delay for 2 seconds. W, have a delay for 2 seconds. And E, when the bot enters the each character one after the other, it should keep on giving the delay. So if that's the case, you have to specify what is the amount of delay you want from when the bot enters each keys. Next, click before typing. See, before I type over here, as a human, what we do, if you want to type it over here, we're going to first do a click, right? See, I did a click, then only I'm typing in. So if you want your bot to do the same thing, enable this property. Alter if disable, I have highlighted. And activate. By default, it will be true. What it does is, suppose here is my browser and the bot has to type something in my text, this area it has to type something. Apu, like before this browser, we have application UiPath application. Now, for the bot, the required application is in the background, the backside of the studio, right? If I minimize it, I can view it. That means this is at the front, the browser is at the back. Now, if you want the previous of this application, it has a browser, right? If it wants to bring to the foreground, it has to bring to the front. Then if you have chosen the activate, it will bring to the front and it's going to do the automation. It's going to show you and it's going to do the automation. It brings that application to the foreground and it's going to do an automation. That is what the activate means. Now, send hotkey. Send hotkey follows all the same things. See here, rest all remains the same, and the input, which is the shortcut. If you want alt tab, see some alt tab or control alt tab, something. If you want, you can choose it. Here it will be available. In the target section, you can choose about the selectors. And next in the miscellaneous, you can provide about the, you guys know about it, how it will work. And next activating, just now how I explained, it will bring to the foreground. And next, click before typing, like the same as typing to activate delay between the keys, empty the field, key modifier. See again, sometimes this key modifier, it will be handy. So you have these options. And see here, send window messages you have, but you don't have simulate. Why? Why we don't have simulate? If you see this, see, it doesn't support special keys. It will not at all support that. So that's the reason you don't have a simulate over here. You have a special key, which we did special keys, this one. So this is what all about a classic design, and this is the way how it looks and feel. If you want to look and feel about this, let me open up one application, some dummy application, which is of my CRM. Yeah, this is my application. Anyways, post this session, I will give you this application as well to work it out. See, if I want to do a click, indicate, see, indicate on the screen. If I want to do a click somewhere over here, see, in the female or a male, I can click. See, the bot have identified it. And type into, if my bot has to type something somewhere over here in the first name, click, the bot have typed in. Here what it has to type, it has to type as UiPath. And if you want to send some hotkey, like something as, what hotkey we can send? Some enter or something, you can do that. See, in this way, you can configure it. This is the way how it looks in the terms of a classic design. Any questions over here? Any clarification required on the classic?
No.
Okay. Now, after we configure the thing, see, in the classic, this is the classic container, we don't have any error. But this modern has some error. Let's investigate now. So that is what the classic is. Now just keep it aside. That classic, keep in your mind, but keep it aside for a moment. Now understand about the modern design, how it is the same set of activities, but how it is representing now. It is something like an an update what you get for your phone. Previously, how it was look and feel, but after the update, how it is, something like that. Next is what we are seeing is a modern design, modern click activity. See, this is the way how it looks. And the previously it was just an indicator on the screen. That's it. Nothing else was there. But here you have some area, some click things and all. If I click on this activity and if I see the properties of it, see, we have a vast set of activity properties for it. See, click on error, delay after delay before, everything remains the same. All the things remains the same. Next, click type. What is the type of click? Single, double, down, up, and cursor motion. We have discussed same thing. And mouse button, left, right, middle, and the target we said we're going to be talking about in the selectors. But in modern design, we call that as a descriptor. In the classic design, we call that as a selector, but in modern design, we call that as a descriptor, which we're going to be talking in the future. No worries. But start noticing the difference. There, how the activity was, and here, how it is. There, we have a selector. Here, we have a descriptor. And here you have some additional input-output elements. Again, we'll be discussing about the selector. Miscellaneous, you guys know what it is. And alter if disable, which we discussed. The same property over there, what it is, does also the same thing. Key modifier, see, shift click, control click, all the things you have. And here you have something called as an input mode. Input mode. Input mode means like the input method, what we saw, right? Similarly, in the modern design, also we have an input methods. That is the drop down. There we have a check mark, but here we have a drop down. And there we had only 3, but here how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Totally 5 different things we have. What are those? First is, see here, same as app out browser. If you hover on this click, if you see the error indicator, what it is says as, see, this activity is valid. It works only inside. The activity must be inside use application or browser activity. So what is that? Use application or browser activity, right? See, this is my use application or browser. Let me just drag and drop it. Now itself it says the target input. So that means the second thing you saw, when I kept it inside this container, I no longer have an error. But now it is showing me as indicate something. Why? Because it's of an empty activity, right? Indicate something. That's what it is indicating me. So that means this activity, this click activity, if it has to work, means it should be inside use application or a browser. Now, what is this use application or a browser? See, again, it has got some properties. Continue on error, you guys know. Display name, timeout. Timeout means, see, timeout, this one I just wanted to highlight. Anyways, this one also will be talking in the selector, but here it's a time for us to understand. Timeout means when we run the workflow, we have indicated something. Bot should click on something as a gender over here in the CRM. It has to select this. But if this application itself is closed, then what will the bot click? So by default, for 30 seconds, the bot should wait and keep on looking for that element on the screen. As soon as it's available, it should start. But by default, it should wait for 30 seconds. If you want to increase the time from rather than from 30 seconds to 45 seconds or 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can do that by specifying in the time mode section. If you want to reduce it, also you can give it. But by default, it is 30 seconds, what we have. That is the time mode. Next, unified application target. This was like a selector. This is of a selector. And see here, what this activity does is use application or a browser. If you want to open up some application for doing an automation, or if you want to open up a browser, if you want to ask your browser to, your bot should work on that browser, which is already open. If that's the case, this activity will help your bot to identify that application or a browser. See, like when I take a use case, you will understand. But this is of an activity which will help your bot to do the click, do the type in and all in particular application what you specify. See, that's the reason you have an option as close. If you hit this drop down, close an application. After the task is done, close an application. If you never want to close it, you have to select as close never. If you want to close, if it is open, if this application has opened up that browser, then it has to close. If that's the case, then choose this. If opened by an app browser activity, see, if it is opened by this app browser activity, then it has to close. If this didn't open up, then it should not close. And you have another option called always. Always the bot gonna close that browser when you choose as this. Next, here also, see here, input mode. If I hit this drop down, see how many things we have: hardware, simulate, and Chromium API, window messages. If you see, and last but not the least is background. These are the totally 3, 4, 5 different things what we have. Now, if you want to understand about this input modes, what you have in the modern, it follows the same as the classic. In the classic, we have a default, right? That default, here we call it as in hardware events. In classic, the bot uses a driver. Here also it is uses a driver, but the naming convention is hardware event. Hardware event means it uses an hardware like the drivers. By using that, it's going to do it. That is what hardware event means. See, simulate, you can directly map that things what we have seen. Window messages, you can map directly what the things what we have seen. But apart from that, we have 2 more, which is of Chromium API and the background. These are the 2 things what we have. 2 additional things what we have under this, which is in the modern design. So what are those? What are this? And how does it work? This Chromium API. See, as soon as I hover on that, I get a proper description on it. This Chromium API is, they have dedicatedly built for the browser itself. You can see the description. Performs an action using debugger API, only works within Chromium elements only. Send all the text in one go, works even if the target is not in a focus mode. See, this Chromium API is, this API is completely kept in the mind as a browser, and they have built it. It uses an like a debugging API, which will communicate with the browser, and it can do an automation in the background kind of an automation, something like a simulate itself. This simulate, it will work for the application and it works for the browsers as well. Whereas this Chromium API, it has been dedicatedly for the browser, which has this debugger API. So it works only with that applications, and also it can work in the background, and it can send some hotkeys and all. See, the drawback what we had in simulate, that one we are overcoming from that one here in the Chromium API. In this Chromium API, we can send some hotkeys. It is possible. Whereas in simulate, we couldn't. And the compatibility is great in Chromium. This we couldn't. See, it is something like the drawback what we had, we are introducing a new feature to address it. See, that's what it's happening. Default, you have simulate, you have window message, you had a drawback in simulate, right? To overcome from that one, we have introduced a new things called Chromium API. That's what the Chromium API is. Next, background, you have another thing. See, if I hover on it, look at it, runs in the background. See that tooltip, runs in the background, tries to use simulate where possible. While complex activities like image, native text will run as usual in the foreground. If you remember, as soon as you see this, like I have explained you one property earlier, you can correlate to that. What is that? Alter if disable. See, this click activity had alter if disable, right? What is that alter if disable going to do? If that thing is not working, it will auto change it to some other thing and it will check it out, right? The same thing for this browser, they have been given as alter if disable, but they have given one input mode itself called as a background. This background, it works in a simulate type. It works in the, if you set it, it will work in a simulate. If that simulate is not working for that element, what the bot is working, if it is not working for that, then it will change itself and it will use as an hardware event or a window message event, and it's going to do an automation. That's what a background means. These are the 5 different options what we have now. Now you got some heads up on it. See, again, another option you have, open. Open, never open. If it is open, work on it. You should not open that browser. If that's the case, open, never. And open, if it is not open, you can choose that option. Open, always. You have an option, same as close. You're getting this option. Resize window. See here, resize to a maximize mode, minimize mode, restore to a default things and all. Here you have an option. Window attach mode. See, attach application instance, single window. This one I will talk about it. I will take up a use case and I will talk about it. So just have an eye on window attach mode. Next. See, when you're working on a browser, then only you should use this option. When you see the same activity can be used for application, can be used for browser. When you're using as a browser, use these properties. When you're using an application, you can use this property as well as in the browser also you can use this properties. It's a common thing. But these options are dedicated to the browser. See, opening in an incognito mode or a private window, this is an option for you. These are some of the things what we have under use application thing. See, what is the input mode we have selected for this use application? Input mode is hardware events, right? Now, see, under that you have a click activity. In click, also you have an option as an input mode. If you hit this, see, again you have an option. One is same as app or browser. This app or browser, what is the data type we have selected? Hardware events. If you select as app or browser, then it will work in a hardware event itself. Or if you want to override that one, and if you want to change it to simulate, you can do that. If you want to change it to Chromium API, you can do that. Window messages, yes, even that you can do it. But you have also an option to change it as same as app browser. That's the thing what you have. So this one still we haven't configured. That's the reason it's throwing an error. Now let's jump into the type into. Type into also says the same thing. The text was not given. So I will say as text itself. Test. See, as soon as I give some test. Okay. See here. This is of a classic design activity. It's just an indicate on the screen. I think I have misdragged it. So type. See, UI automation type into. This is classic type into. I want this type into. See, look at it. Look at the behavior, how it is. Look at the difference between these two type into. So this is classic design. See, even here, if I hover on it, see, this activity must be inside use application or a browser. I need to drag and drop it over inside that container. This is the thing what we have in modern design. See, as soon as I keep, I don't get any error. If I see the properties of it, it follows the same as the classic. What in all we have seen, everything remains the same. See here, everything remains the same. But the only thing difference is input mode. Same as our app or browser, hardware event, simulate, Chromium, or anything you want, you can choose it accordingly. And see here, this is options. When you choose as an hardware event or a Chromium event, you can use these options. When you choose a simulate, then you can use this option. They have segregated it. So they are helping you, like the modern design activities are those which will ease in your building of the workflows. Their main concern is to reduce the development time, what the developers are taking by introducing some additional features, functionalities, and all. I will discuss about it again. So these are the things. And last but not the least is key shortcuts. Even it says it's valid inside. So let me just drag and drop it over here. I don't have an error now. It follows all the things the same as the previous activity. Now, so we understood about, now we just got some difference between the classic and the modern. Now we will understand in detail about it. So first thing is indicate which application you are doing. So let me indicate. So this is my CRM application. See, look at it, how the bot is recognizing. In this application, the bot have recognized, okay, this is the application. So it got the application path also by itself. Automatically it got. If you see the properties of it, so many things have been changed here now. See, unified application target. You can see the selector. You have a selector. See here. This is the selector, which we're going to be talking about. The file path, you got it. And arguments, I will talk about this. No worries. So these are some of the options, what it is. And by default, it is, right now it is in the like hardware event is being selected. If you want to change it, you can. And close is being selected. If opened by the app browser, it has to close. By default, it is. It is auto selected. We haven't done anything. Open, it is not selected anything. If you want, you can choose it. By default, it will be never itself. So if it is not open, let the my bot open it. Let's use that activity. This is use application. Next, if I want to type something, click, right? If I want to click for this female, I want to click. As soon as I click, see, the bot is analyzing something, analyzed, and it is giving me the output. This is the target, what you have selected. Is it right? So you can confirm it. Or else, if you want to give some anchor, see, this is of a female. It is, see, right above this phone section, right above this address section, right above, like below this first, this below this. I can give the anchor. Look at it, how it is giving us. So that, see, this is the capability what this modern activities has. This is the intelligence, how the bot will auto calculate it, the selectors, and it recognizes the elements for you. See, I can give this as an anchor. You on the left hand side, you have something called as an male thing, and next to that you have a female. You have to click on that. So this one I can give as an anchor. See, next to this, the target is this, anchor is this. If I want to delete it, I can delete it. If I want to delete this target, I can delete the target. If the settings will gives me the complete, this is the selector, right? See, selectors, you can see, these are the selectors, what I'm getting. Selectors, things here itself, I can choose it, which is the best for me and which is not the best for me, and all. I can take a call. This is the settings things option what I have. And there are sometimes, see, I can confirm it, or else here I have another option. Let me show you that. See, convert to a dynamic text target. Right now it's of a static text. See, this is of a static text, female, that word, it will be always there on that application. If you want to, there are some cases where you want to convert. There are some cases where it will be changing. Today it is there in that area, in this area, what we are seeing, it's of a female. But in tomorrow, this will be swapped. This will be moved over here. This will be moved over here. Sometimes it happens. If that's the case, then you have to choose the dynamic text target. Right now it is dynamic, but in the future it will change. But now here it is the value. If you specify that, it will automatically apply that algorithm for this. But now it is of a static, so let me not do that. And let me just hit confirm. As soon as I confirm, see, the bot have identified and it have calculated everything for me, and it is ready-made for me. And all the properties and all, now I can change it. based on my requirement. Similarly, the type into also, if I want to type in, see, as soon as I give some text area, the bot itself have seen the anchor. See, I've just clicked over here. The bot have automatically identified the first as a anchor. So first, corresponding to that, you have a text area. That is the thing. Bot should write it over there. That's this is how the bot have recognized it. If it is right, you can enable it. If it is not, delete that and give an anchor for you, for your own. Like whether you should give this last as a thing or first as a thing, you can choose it. It totally depends on your requirement. Right now, let me just choose it as first itself and let me hit OK. See, even that is done. Next, see here, it doesn't ask me to click that CRM application. Why? This is of a shortcut key. What you want, what is the hotkey you want to send to this application, which is my CRM application. Here you have a record. See, as soon as you hit, the bot is recording. Whatever you click on your keyboard, for example, let me click Control. See, Control is key over there automatically. If I want another one, I will say as tab. See, I got a tab. If I want another one, if I want caps lock, caps, I got it. See, this is the way how these activities are in the input methods. And this is the way how it looks and feel about this. These are the way how the UiPath is evolving itself. Now you can see a huge difference, how the classic is and how the modern is. That's the reason I said, right now we're in an edge, in a changing from classic to the modern. But now we don't have any other option. We have to learn both the things. And also in the future, it will be very much helpful. Why? Because you'll be seeing the previous generation of this and also the new generation of the activities. You'll be getting the things in a lot better rather than only working on the modern design. So this was just a look and feel about this. Any questions for me till now? Are we good?
Yes, we are good, sir.
Yeah. So this is what and classic and the modern design activities. Okay, now what we will do is we will take up an use case and we will work on that use case now. So what will be my use case? Let me create a new sequence and I would name it as classic. Let me build a use case in both the cases and let's see how it's going to be working. And I will see as modern as well. In the classic, let me drag a sequence. And in the modern also, let me drag a sequence and keep it ready. Now, what's my use case is, let me minimize this. I want my bot should open up a notepad. See this notepad. And here it has to type some characters. This is my simple use case. What my bot has to do? My bot has to open up a notepad and it has to type something over here. This is my simple requirement. Let's see how it can be done. First, what shall we choose? Which design shall we choose? Classic or the modern? In which let's build an automation first. Shall we build it in classic or modern, guys?
Modern will be good, maybe. Classic will be... Yeah, modern will be good. Easiest way.
Easiest way.
It's
Yeah.
It is intelligent, that's why maybe.
Yes, you're right. So this is the way how the UiPath is moving. So that's the reason even everyone are evolving to the modern things. But there is an necessary that we should also be looking about the classic. So I will keep that examined now itself. I'll keep that. And first, let's discuss about the classic. And later, I will just relive some of the excitements about this using the modern designs. First, let me show you with the classic and later let me showcase about the model. What's my use case is my bot has to type something on my notepad. What it has to type, let me use the type into activity. So here, everything I should choose from the classic itself, none of the other things. So let me drag and drop this type into activity. Let me indicate, see, this is the text area where the bot has to work. Okay, prior that, let me ask my bot to attach. I need to showcase which is the application the bot should work. See, similarly, apart from this notepad, I can have some other application. There is a chance that my bot can misinterprets. So rather than entering the data over here, the bot can enter the data somewhere else. So I need to bring some focus for the bot. So that's the reason we have some set of activities in classic design. So which are like, see, attach browser, attach window. If we are working on some applications and if we want to bring some attention of the bot to that application, then this is the activity attach window. Let me drag and drop the attach window activity. If I'm working on a browser, then if I want to have the focus of the bot to that browser, then attach browser. If I want to open up an browser or an application, see, in classic, I have two different activity. If I want to open up any application or any browser, I have a dedicated activities. So totally how many activities I have? Open application, attach window, open browser, attach browser. Totally 4 activities I have. This 4 different okay, let me drag all the 4 activities. 1, 2, attach window, and attach browser. See, in the classic, based on a use case, we had independent activities. If I want to open up an application, then I was using this. If I want to open browser, then I was using this. If I want to attach some window, attach some browser, then we were using this. But in modern design, we don't have such activities at all. We have only one activity, which is called use application or a browser. This activity itself will suffice all these 4 requirements. If you want to open up an application, here it has an option, here it has a property to open up. See, open up, I can. And if I want to open up a browser, yes, even this can open up a browser. Here it has an URL section and it has a property dedicated to that. So this activity itself will suffice is sufficing the need. See, browser section. So this activity itself can work for application and the browser. But in classic design, we had independent activity for that. Different activities. Similarly, if I want to attach a browser or window, attachments, see here. For example, it's of a dummy application, uibank.uipath.com. You can go over there and you can create your profile. So this is of a dummy application. Now in this, the bot should work on. The bot should not open up a new browser or anything. It's already open. The bot should work on this itself. In that case, what we do, we're gonna attach a browser or attach application. If it is already open, that application, we're gonna attach that application and we used to work. But similarly, if I want to attach that browser, I can easily do that. See, I can indicate this notepad. I can ask my bot to work on. See, it's gonna recognize it automatically. It is something like it is acting as attach itself. If it is there, it's gonna work. If it is not there, it will open it and it will work. See, this one application is sufficing all the needs in the modern, whereas in the classic, we have independent activities for each. So this is the thing what you can keep an eye on. Okay, now let's jump back to our requirement. What's my requirement? Our bot has to type something on that notepad. So since Notepad is already open, I would say as attach window. I will ask my bot to look into this text, this application, this Notepad, and it has to type the things. I will use a type into activity, whether it's of a classic. Yeah, this is of a classic activity, I believe. No. So here I have a type into activity. Let me just drag and drop and indicate this area. See, this is the text area. So the bot have recognized the text area, and here it has to type. So I will see as such a long text. I'm just giving some junk characters. Long text. And after it enters entire thing, it should hit enter. That means it should go to the next line. See, when the bot types entire thing, it types some junk character, it should not stay on the same line. See, it is staying on the same line. It has to go to the next line. See, the bot is jumping to the next line. If I want this in action, if I want my bot after typing this, it should hit enter. If that's the case, here in the type into activity itself, you have a drop down. If you hit this drop down, here you can find an enter key and you can select it. See, enter. If you select it, at the end, you can see after typing that character, it has been recognized with keyboard enter. So this is of a kind of a thing which will function, which will hit and enter after typing such a long text. Okay, after this, let me use an click activity. Click from classic. Indicate. So here it has to click minimize button. It has to click minimize. And I will use again a type into activity. Type into here. Let me just drag and drop. Indicate the area again. And what it has to type in? It has to type in as this is a message from. Okay, let me configure the things accordingly. First is open attach window, so it will work. The type into activity. We have seen some different methods, right? So let's start implementing that. So this type into activity, let me keep it as a default itself. Let me not select anything. Let me keep it as default. And do I need to enable empty? No, nothing. So already disable, nothing. Everything, let it be as it is. Type into activity, I'm not touching anything. Regarding the click. This click, I want my bot to do a simulate click. That means in an API level, it has to do a click. And next, type into activity. So the hardware thing default is done, window message is done. Leftover is send window message. So let me enable this. And let me give this as this message is from send window message. This is the thing what I have given. So that means I have selected the send window message. And if you look at my use case, how interesting is that? The bot will enter something first. It will minimize. Minimize means that application is not at all there on the screen. And when it is not at all there on the screen, I'm asking the bot to enter this value. How? In a background by using send window message input type. In this way, the bot has to send an information in a background and it has to type even though that application is minimized. Let's see how it's gonna work. But prior that, let me just go to my desktop and let me just trigger it. But prior that, again, I need to close. Okay, let me clear it out. Okay, still it's compiling. Where's my notepad? So this is my notepad is here. And just observe, my mouse is here in the project section. Here it is. In the snippets, you can see my mouse cursor is still there. The bot has started, the workflow has started. See, the bot have recognized the notepad and it is typing character by character. And you can see my mouse cursor is still here. And just see how the bot will minimize this application without moving the mouse. See, my mouse cursor is still there on the snippet. And see here, my mouse cursor is still here. And the workflow is done. Let's see the notepad. Let's open up the notepad, which is minimized. See, the bot have written this, and also this message, it has written from the background. This is a message from the send window message. See how it is working. And also you might have noticed my mouse cursor still it was there. The minimize thing has happened. How? By using simulate method from the background. In the background, it has sent an instruction to the notepad directly. And from the through the windows, it has sent the message as this is a message from send window messages. Now, so this is the way how it is with this classic design. Now, if I want to extend this workflow a bit more, then let me use an click activity. See, if you have noticed, if we use, see, till now, what and all the activities we have used, like the type into activity, use application scope and all. So those are in the recent thing, it is there. But we have also used a click activity from the classic and all. Those are not there. If you want, you have to give some effort. See, you have to use it click again and look. See, in the recent itself, modern design click is available, but classic design click it is not available. Why? Because even UiPath wants you to switch to the change. It's very hard as me itself, like from the first I'm using the classic design. Suddenly, if I want to choose, yes, it would be great to choosing the things and working, but suddenly so many things to adopt and so many things to change means it will be difficult for everyone. So that's the reason UiPath have made some easy transition from this to the modern. So they are not giving this as in the recent. Why? Because if it is in recent, you will just drag and drop and you will start using that itself. If it is if it is of not very much accessible, then what you do? Okay, rather than this, let me use that itself. It is very handy for me. It is near to my hand. So you're going to use that. So this is the way how we are making you guys to transition from classic to the modern. So first click activity, let me drag and drop. And similarly, let me drag another click activity as well. Now, what is my use case is, anyways, my bot is typing, it's excellently, it is typing the things. After it types, my bot has to click on this format and my bot has to click on its font. See, format, font, and it has to change to calibrate. It has to change the font to an Arial and some bold and some number as 23. This is my use case. Let's see how it can be done. So first it has to click on the, let me drag it over here. First it has to click on the format. See, format selected. Next it has to click on the font. So where is my font? Okay, it's inside it. Let me just hit escape. Let me open up my notepad. So now I have a font. Let me click this. Oh, it has disappeared again. But if I click now, this will be selected again. But I have already selected the font format. How to do it? How to select inside this? For that, here you have. See, hover over the element you want to indicate and click to select it. If element is not being detected or highlighted, try changing the UI framework by hitting F4. See, this is UI framework by default behavior is this. If I hit F4 again, see, this is AA framework, UI and AA framework. These are the three different frameworks are available, which I'll be talking about in the selectors. So don't worry about this UI framework. In the selectors, I'll be talking about in detail. Next, see, pause configuration for 5 seconds, hit F2. If you hit F2 key, then the bot right now in the selection mode, right? See, if I hit F2, the bot is in 5 seconds, is in the pause. If I want, I can click, I can keep it handy. See, now it's in the selection mode. Now I can click anything based on my requirements. But I wanted format below. So again, F2. See, now it is available. I can wait till my bot is in the selection mode. So now it is available. I can ask my bot to click on it, font. See, in this way you have an option. Here itself you have an option. Here itself is showcase what to do it. Through that you can do an automation. So next, what my bot has to do, it has to click on the font. See, the bot have selected the font. Next thing is easy. After you select a font, you get another canvas. See, you're getting another canvas before it, beyond it. Now here, what and all you have to do, you have to change the font, style and all. So this was all about one window, what you have worked. See, the previous window. Now you got a new window, right, to work on. So again, what you have to do, you have to use something as attach window again. Attach window, indicate this new window, and here inside this you have to type into activity. Here this is the type into activity which you wanted. So totally 3 different type into activities you want. You can choose it accordingly. Indicate here in the calibrate, it has to be changed to as Arial. Here, before typing, it has to click. It has to empty the field first and it has to type. And before typing, it has to click and it has to do it. And let me ask my bot to do it in a send window message mode. Next, font style is bold. So here also the same thing, empty the field before typing, click before typing, and deselect at the end. Let me use and simulate type. Let me ask my bot to type it as bold. Okay, I think now it's better. If I want, I can give another type into activity for choosing 20. It's fine now. So let me run this workflow and check it out. But prior that, let me clear the things. It's my responsibility to clear the things. Let me just trigger it. See, my mouse cursor is somewhere at the break. You can see the bot is typing one after the other. After it types, it's gonna minimize. After minimize, it opened up the format, font, it typed the thing. See what it did? The bot minimized. It entered. This is a message from send window message. It typed and it came over here and it opened up a format. It clicked on a format. For the format, clicking on the format, we haven't given anything like simulate or send window message. It's of a default behavior, right? So what the bot did, bot used an keyboard driver, sorry, click driver, mouse driver, and it has manually clicked it. If it wants to manually click this application to be on the foreground, so that's the reason it brought to the foreground and it did a click. Format, font. And in the format, first it has typed as an Arial. And you got some error like stating that the method or operation is not implemented. That means it is not compatible like the thing what we have given. For this, what's the thing we have given? Simulate thing. That means for this, simulate thing is not compatible. Let me stop this and let me change it. For this, rather than the pooled, let me change it to this and let me run this workflow. Okay, I should have closed it and cleared it. I bought into the previous stage, how the bot is. Just observe now, my mouse cursor is still here. After it types minimize and it opens up and it will click on format. Just observe. Right now, what is that? Stop. See, it minimized. It opened up, clicked, font, Arial, next. It has typed, cleared it, and it has typed. See how it is working. See, it is clearing the things and it is working as expected. Now, if I don't give empty the field while typing, see, empty the field. If I don't give this, see what happens. For this, I have already given. For this, I haven't given it. I just wanted to show you the difference. So that's the reason. See, it is starting typing everything. See what it did. By default, it was narrow, bold. It didn't clear it out. It didn't clear. What it did, it just written over it. See, hardware event, send window message. I said it will not clear it, right? It will not clear the things. So it is not clearing, but if you want to clear, you have an option. So this is what all about and the classic. In the classic design, this is the way how you build the things. Now let me replicate the same workflow in a modern design. Look at the way how it is, the classic. Now let's jump onto the modern. Let me start from first activity. So here, everything is in my recent itself. Now it's not necessary for me to look everything. So use application and the browser first. So which is the application? This notepad is the application. I got automatically the path, everything is set it up. Next, what I should do? I should just use a type into activity to type the things. Where it has to type? Here, in this area, in the text area, it has to type. So if I click, see, this is my target. It asks me whether, okay, this is of a valid thing or not. If you want to change it, I can. It's giving me all the confirmation. If it is, I'm good. I can hit confirm. So that part is done. Type in what it has to type. I can give what it has to type. So I will see as same thing. This some long text of characters. I'm just trying to ask my bot. Some long text. And at the end, if it wants to add an enter, see, hit drop down and hit enter. See, at the end, I got keyboard enter. I have an option to toggle it. See, if I want to mask it, the text what I have given, or else enable it. Or if you feel this is often some some secret text, some password you are writing, then you can choose this. If you choose this, then you have to give some secure string variable. If it is not, then we can choose the standard one. And in the properties, see, it is taking the same as the app or browser. What it is taking the same thing. If you want to change it to an hardware events, then it chooses an hardware events to do it, to do the action, the same action what it is. And here itself, these are the majority things, right? What you will use it while doing a development. One is like emptying the fields or click before typing things. So that's the reason they have it in the properties also you have, but in the activity itself they have given so that it will fasten your development time. So you have an option, you can do it. Empty the field before typing here itself, or else if you want to see it as none, you can choose it as none. Click before typing, it is by default, it is there. If you want to choose it as none, you can do it as none. And you have all the options you have. And after that, after entering this, it has to hit enter, which we did. And now next, what my bot has to do, it has to do a click on minimize. Where is my minimize button? Here is my minimize. Let me ask my bot to minimize it. So the bot have identified the minimize. Do you want to give any anchor? No, I don't have any anchor for it. If I want to give this as an anchor, I can give it. Or this as an anchor, I can give it. Or this as an anchor also, I can give it. But now let me not give any anchor. Let me just hit confirm. So the bot have analyzed and selected the click. So right now, what is the type of this input mode? It's same as browser. Let me change it to a simulate. Next, let me do the same thing. Let me drag another type into activity. Let me ask my bot to type something on the screen, on this text area. Let me just hit escape. Where is my notepad? So this is some text. If it was written, then it has to select this. And if I hit confirm, the bot have given me that selector, what it has to type here. It has to type as this is a message from window message. In the properties, and here we have to choose the input mode as window messages. Okay, still why it is showing an error. The click before typing property. Okay, see here, the click before typing. Let me disable it. See, this click before typing, when you're using a Chromium API or hardware events, you can use this click before typing, or else you cannot use it. If you want to use it, then change it to a Chromium API. That's what they are asking us. Or else let me do another type into activity as well. And let me ask my bot to type in through an Chromium as well. I will show you that Chromium. So this is the same text area. On the same text area, I have to choose as a Chromium API. And I will see as a text as API text. So I will also make sure that when it types this, it gives an enter so that it will type it in a new line. When I use a Chromium API, it is showing some error. See, Chromium API should be used only on a Chromium browsers. I said you right. Chromium API is dedicatedly built for the browsers. If you want to use something else, you cannot. This is what the thing. See, it is throwing an error. If it was a browser, then it would have worked. That which are the browsers it does support? It support only two browsers. One is Edge and another one is Chrome. These are the only two browsers it supports. Apart from that, we have so many things like Firefox, Opera, so many browsers. None of the things will work. Only these two browsers. This Chromium API will work for Chrome and the Edge. None of the other things. So this option is ruled out for us. Next, what we should do? We should ask our bot to click right, click on the format. This is entering in the Windows level. It is happening. After that, it has to click on the format. After it clicks on the format, let me hit confirm. That is the format thing what it has to click. And let me use an under click activity. it has to click on the font. Where it is font, it is inside this. Let me hit F2 to pause, and now I should be able to click on this font. See, the bot I've recognized. If I hit confirm, the bot will confirm it. It will bring it. See, the click. You have all the properties. It's the same. Like if you want, you can keep it as the same thing, or as if you want, you can change it as well. But now let me keep it as a valid itself. After this, after I get this, I would get a new window, right? New pop-up. See, the same format, font. I'm going to get a pop-up, right? This pop-up. Now, in Classic, what we did, we have attached a browser again because it's of a new pop-up, and we have asked the bot to work on. But here we will not do that. Why? I will talk about it. I will use a type into activity. I will ask my bot to see here. It has to change. It has auto selected the anchor. See, everything is happening for me in one go. If I hit OK, what it has to type? It has to type as Arial. By default, see here, empty the field. It is empty in the field, and it is typing it. And let me use another type into activity. Let me indicate it again. This area, font style. Let me hit confirm. And if you have noticed, let me indicate the target. See, look at it. Our bot, since we haven't given any attach window or anything, but if you see, our bot focus is on only at this pop-up, even not on the notepad. See how intelligent the bot is. Now the bot understood, okay, you got some pop-up. My complete attention should be on the pop-up, not on the background. See, if you want to select some background things also, it will not allow you to select it. Only within this, only within this, you can see how it is highlighted. Rest all it's been blacked out. Whereas in the Classic, you didn't see this as a behavior. The bot doesn't, the activities didn't had this kind of an visibility, but this has. See, the bot have selected with the anchor, with the things, it has seen everything. And here, let me give it as hold. And none of the things I'm doing, none of the changes. But whereas there, I was just playing around, I was emptying the field, I was disabling everything I was doing. Now let me see this in action. But prior that, rather than clearing and keeping everything this, let me not save this. And also let me make sure that close thing is not been defined. It says as never, it should never close. Why? Because I want to see some changes. So that's the reason. And see here, open. Right now, I have purposefully closed that notepad. Now, what it is, I haven't selected anything. Let's see what happens, whether it throws an error or what. The bot is checking the workflow. It is compiling the workflow of the modern design what we have built. See, the workflow has started. What it did, it saw and okay, let me break it. It saw a notepad which was already there, like some other notepad. It took over that notepad and it is doing an automation. Let me stop. Let me close all of the notepad. And let's see what it does. See, this is the way how the bot is behaving. Fuzzy selector. That is often another concept which we'll be talking about it. But I'm just making you guys to hear some of these words. When we discuss in detail, you'll grab the things. Fuzzy selector. That means if that application, what you wanted, which is untitled, if it is not there on the screen, then look for that same application with a different name rather than untitled, but I want to work on Notepad itself. That's the thing. That's the way how the bot, how this activity is working. By default, it has configured in that way. In the real environment also, we wanted in this way itself. Why? Because we wanted to do an automation on that application, irrespective of that window is that particular application is open on anything. As long as that application which I wanted to automate is available, the bot should take the precedence and it has to do it. See, that's the way it has been designed. If you want to remove it, you have an option to remove that as well, which I'll be discussing in detail in the future. But now I have closed all the notepad and I have triggered the workflow again. See, the bot opened up for you by default. If it is not there, it will open up. If you want to change it, you can change that. And also you can see my mouse cursor is still here at the home. Let's see. We have given minimize in this simulate thing. After it types, it uses an hardware event. It is using a hardware event and it is doing the things. Now it minimized. My mouse cursor is still there. See, it's waiting. It's waiting for something. My mouse cursor is still here. See, it threw an error like stating that the format, see, I cannot see. Couldn't find the user interface of UI element for action. Yes, we have purposefully minimized. And see here, this is a message from window message we also entered. But the format thing is not at all available on the screen because it has been minimized. See, that it gives you a detailed description. Ensure that application is open and UI element is visible on the screen at execution time. Edit the target of UI activity and use validation to debug the issue. This is related to the selector. And if needed, re-indicate the element, because right now it's not issue with the selector. So re-indication is not required. Use some check state activity to check whether that application is state before execution is executing the action, or some, if you want, give some delay. See, some of the suggestions it is giving. This activity itself is giving the suggestions, all the suggestions. If you, your case, the case what you have been right now, that this is, if you address any one of this, like, or else if you, after reading all of this, if you'll understand what is the issue is, you will address it. See, it is helping, this activity is helping for the developers to address the need, the error, what has been thrown. The bot is helping, this activities is helping them to address the need by giving the appropriate error messages with the solutions also. Whereas in the classic, no, we haven't getting that. We will not able to get the error message in this way. And also, and another advantage for the classic is, you saw, even though that application has been minimized, since we have configured as an hardware event, the bot, what it did, even though it is not available on the screen, it brought to the foreground. It has clicked on it, but this, it is throwing an error. This is the way how the difference you can start noticing. In the classic, that is the way how it behaves. If it is minimized, it will bring to the foreground and it's gonna automate it. Whereas in the modern design, it is not bringing to the foreground at all. It will throw an error. So to handle this, one thing is you have to just, you have to remove this, click to minimize. Why? Because this is the activity, right, which is minimizing for you. So let me eradicate that one. And if I trigger it again,
Sorry, sir.
So it's compiling. See, it emptied that field and it is entering the characters. It used the same notepad and it is entering the values. You can see the same notepad, it is entering the character by character. Since we have removed that minimize, the bot will go to the next line, it will enter the next text, and it will click on the format, font, and it's going to do the things. Let's see that. See, the bot have moved to the next line, format, font, it is doing the things what we wanted. See how fast and how it was nice, and it has ended pretty well. But the thing is, you have noticed the difference, how the classic is behaving, how this modern is behaving. There are some advantages in the modern. Yes, it's often a great thing, but still there are some add-on points for the classic as well. So now it's over to you how to choose, when to choose, and how to build an automation for you and your client. So this is the way how you can build an automation and you can build the things for you. So any questions till now? The difference between the classic and the modern things and all?
No.
Anything to be highlighted from my end? Okay, let me run this workflow one more time and I will show you one difference. The workflow started, it started entering some long text. After it enters that such long text, it's moving to the next line and it is entering the window messages and hitting the font, format, font, and it stopped. The bot is not doing further. If you notice, before the error throws, it is waiting for 30 seconds. Timeout is the 30 seconds. If you want to reduce it, I have showed you an option where you can do that. If you want to increase it, you have an option to do that. But right now, since we haven't done that, it's over 30 seconds. 30 seconds is the delay, what it is. And you can see for the typing in the font, it is throwing an error. Why? Because if you observe, like in the activities, let me stop it. And here I have given one property. See, window attach mode. We have given a single window. Single window means the bot should work only on this window. If it is giving you pop-up or anything, it should not work on that. It should work on this itself. That is what the indication is. When I select this as a single window, you saw the bot was not doing anything over here because the bot will work only in parent application. See, this is parent. This is child application. This will be the parent and this will be the child. Now, when you choose a single window, the bot will be focused on only the parent. If you choose application, see here, when you choose application instance, then it will be, the focus will be completely on this application, whether it might be the child, sub-child, or the parent, wherever it is, the bot will work. So that is the property what you have over here, window attach mode, which is application instance or single window. This is the two options what you have. And if you want to resize some window, you can choose it, maximize, minimize, or restore it to the design time and all. So whereas for classic design, if you want to maximize the thing, if you want to open up the application in a maximize mode, you have a dedicated activity for that. See, maximize window, you have to keep that. We we still many of the customer environment process, we have designed in this way and we have kept it in this way itself. But now in the future, everything will be reduced to with only this application. See how many applications this is being replacing. That's the beauty of this modern design. So any questions till now about the modern design? Still, we are in the first stage. I'm going slowly itself. I'm making you guys to understand about the difference between the classic, modern, and the things. In the future, yes, we will anyways we have so many topics to discuss. We will go in a faster way. But now this is of the basic things which I want you guys to be very familiar. So that's the reason I'm going in a slow fashion. So are you guys getting the things right between the classic, modern things and all what we have seen till now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great then. So I think we are up with the time as well. So let's halt it for the day. In tomorrow's session, we're going to be talking about our next concept, which is of input actions we have seen. In tomorrow's class, we're going to be talking about the output actions. And we have some more interesting to be discussed about the classic and modern. This is often just you can think as the chapter 1. We are yet to open the chapter 2 tomorrow. So that's it, guys. That's it from my end. If you have any questions, you can ask, or else we can wind up our session.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
You too, sir.
Bye.